Hello, folks. Back with more ancient cosmography. Got a little more stuff on the Red Hand of Ulster. So, you know, it's the story of two figures that are racing to Ireland to become lord of it, and whichever touches it with their hand first becomes lord of Ireland. And one of them, they're neck and neck, and the other one's about to touch it, so the other one so one of them cuts off their left hand, throws it at the shore of Ireland, and thereby becomes Lord of Ireland. And so it seems to be, and then in this version, like from this poster, there's a poster from Northern Ireland, it refers to this as the giant Finn McCool. So that would make sense. And so the giant's left arm would be this, Argyll Peninsula. I think I was calling it Knock. So no, I don't know. I had it in my head that it was called Knockbracken, but anyway, I think it's called Knapdale. Knapdale and Kintyre. So it's like they don't usually refer to the whole peninsula. I mean, I would refer to it just as Argyll Peninsula, but the sections of it are, Kintyre for the forearm and Knapdale for the upper arm or whatever. So, and then this is like that corresponding 5,500-year-old avatar of Britain, whose arm seems to be Argyll and whose hand would be basically right there, and holding the Outer Hebrides as a club, and holding Ulster's head, Ulster, Connacht, and Munster. Ulster, Connacht, Munster. It has Wales on this as a harness attached to Leinster, etc., etc. So, I'm very heavily leaning towards this as being what it is, this as being the explanation. Because as far as I know, no living person knows the origin of this besides me. But you never know. Maybe the Orange Lodge knows, or some kind of Freemasons know, or some kind of Celtic, Irish, Gaels know. But let's see. So this is the stump south end, and because the arm points, it really is the northernmost part of Ireland here. Like, this is the northern coast of Ireland. So this peninsula comes south, starts at the north and comes south. So that's south end, and this is Campbelltown, right in Campbelltown Loch there. I think it was originally had a Gaelic name, but that was, I think Campbelltown was founded in the 1600s. And they planted some of the people from Ayrshire, I think, there. And it's a military outpost or something. Anyway, and that's my middle name is Campbell. My mom's last name is Campbell, so we're descended from like this arm. My grandpa was an arm. So I wanted to just show that. Let's see. So here's the Red Hand of Ulster in its original color, because in this one I increased the saturation to increase the redness so that it stood out more, whereas in this it looks, it's reddish brown, so it looks more brown, but this is the same thing. Antrim Coast and Glens area of natural beauty. And so I just wanted to show it's pretty close to Belfast. Belfast is the capital of Northern Ireland. It's near Larne, Carrickfergus. These are somewhat important ports or whatever, and Ballycastle, Ballymena. Oh, there's Ballymena, Antrim town. So it's in Antrim, County Antrim, but this is Antrim town. So my paternal ancestors, the Millars, are from Antrim County, but I'm not sure what part of Antrim. They came over there from Scotland, but they were there for some sort of amount of time. I'm not sure how long. And then let's see, is this now? Well, this is just another image of the Red Hand. This is taken from a topography map, or an elevation map. So these are not only the red parts, but these are the elevated parts. These are the mountains. And actually some parts of this are not really reddish today because of something I'll get into. But so here's the Giant's Causeway, which is related to the same stories of these ancient giants. And it's said that they built this as a bridge to get from Scotland to Ireland, or Ireland to Scotland, or whatnot. But of course, these are actually natural formations. I believe it's basalt that creates this type of formation. You'll see the same thing in Western Scotland. You'll see the same thing in Iceland, I believe. So that's not far from the Hand either. That's Giant's Causeway is there. So the Hand is here. So the Hand is kind of equidistant or whatever between the Giant's Causeway and Belfast. So, Bushmills is right. Basically, the Giant's Causeway is in Bushmills, so that's where the whiskey's from. The oldest, I think it might be the oldest Irish whiskey company, the longest standing. Although some would call it British because it was founded by British descended Protestants, I believe. But what was I gonna say? Just that I've been here. I've been to Belfast, and I've probably been, or I might have been on the Hand because I went from Belfast to here. But who knows? Maybe we might have gone this way instead. I don't know. I was just like a passenger. So, but either way, I definitely was near the Hand of Ulster, the Red Hand of Ulster. So yeah, I went to the causeway, jumped around on the little rocks. That was like 2007 or something. I was doing research for my studies, history of the Ulster Scots, and mostly spent time in East Belfast and city centre. It's a lovely wee country, you know, has its quirks. So yeah, this is a very beautiful kind of quirky formation that is world famous. You know, it features in a lot of films. You know, even a lot of cartoons and like computer graphic stuff will incorporate it into different landscapes just randomly, like not even related to Ireland. Um, and as I said, it does exist elsewhere, but this is the most famous example of it. Yes, Red Hand of Ulster, you know, and this one it kind of makes it look like this is a finger and this finger is like cut in half. Or and then maybe even this is a finger cut in half. But anyway, I mean, you wouldn't say like it looks. Once you see the hand, you can see it. I think that once you see the thumb and the palm and the fingers, then you can see it. But it's not. I'm not sure that it's so markedly handish that it would be a hand on its own. I think really the big reason it's a hand is because of Argyll, because Argyll's peninsula here, Knapdale and Kintyre, look like an arm, and this looks like, and you know, the south end of Kintyre looks like a stump, and there's a lot of red right on the stump there, and then there's this red, somewhat hand-looking thing, and even the coastline of it, you know, of course, has the contours of the thumb and somewhat of the fingers. So I think it's all that together that makes it the Red Hand of Ulster. I think if it was just, if this didn't exist, then who knows? Who knows what that would be rendered as in the, you know, mythopoetry. I mean, you know, they otherwise they I guess they could have also gone with this being a fist, like a balled up fist, but I like it as a stump. I like that for you, being a stump. So this is just this photo of some of the. I think this is in Antrim, some of the reddish mountains. So I don't know if it is entirely the red sandstone or if it's also some type of reddish, you know, plants that grow there that make it so red. Here's the Giant's Causeway pointing towards Scotland in the North Sea, you know, on the north coast of Ireland. So it's just made up of like thousands of those little hexagons, hexagonal basalt pillars. There's the Red Slemish Mountain. So this is not actually part of the Red Hand of Ulster. This is somewhat separated from it. It's near Belfast, but it's basically the same type of geology. Slemish Mountain. So here's a topography, or you know, like an elevation map of it, and so you can really see how the hand is the elevated part. You know, the thumb and the fingers and whatever are the most elevated part of this whole of County Antrim. And yeah, Slemish might be down here or something, but you know, sometimes it takes a long time to find like good photos of some of the stuff. You know, here is Red Hand. And so I was thinking that it was like agriculture that had destroyed the hand, because all these things that impede it and obscure it seem to be like geometric and whatever. So it seemed like agriculture. But what I seem to have found out, is that actually they're artificial forests that were all planted in the 1840s or something, during the Ulster tenant rising. So maybe it was a bunch of landlords trying to get rid of tenants or something. Who knows? But they used, apparently they were using the timber for building houses and stuff. So they just planted all these forests here on top of the Red Hand, totally destroyed it. Which suggests that at least whoever planted those forests didn't know what the Red Hand signifies. Or if so, they certainly didn't care. The Forestry Service of Northern Ireland, it is a man-made forest made up mostly entirely of spruce trees to help feed the masses with timber. And that's one. Tollymore Forest Park was the first to... there are numerous artificial and natural features. Ballyboley Forest is a man-made forest that supports the Forestry Service. Ballyclare Antrim. So these are all these Antrim forests are not real, they're man-made, artificial in that sense. Glendune Oak Woodland, increasing links between ancient woodland fragments. Two ancient woodlands that were planted in the 1840s. So North Antrim, so that's where the Red Hand is.